Just wanted to thank everybody for joining us as we get to partner with Stripe, one of the leading payment processors in the world. Very, very excited to kind of talk through some of our mutual offerings together. Uh, as we do that, I'll do a quick introduction. My name is Chad Nelson, Director of Solution Architecture here at Venn Technology. Outside of just being the Director of Solution Architecture, I've been very fortunate to be a Stripe partner advocate, which is right now a highest honor that they offer, which allows me to get to do fun things like this webinar. Venn Technology is an integration firm based out of Dallas Fort Worth. We partnered with Stripe amongst all mid-level ERPs for connecting data, real-time cash flow, and reconciliation. I'm honored to be co-hosting this webinar with Girish from Stripe. Girish, I'll let you kind of speak about your role.
Thank you, Chad. Good morning, everyone. My name is Girish. I'm a partner solutions architect focused on the Stripe billing and invoicing product based in Seattle. Been with Stripe for more than 4 years and working with our partners like Venn Technologies in helping Stripe getting integrated into their products and solutions. Thank you, Chad. I'll give it back to you.
Perfect. Looking at our agenda today, hopefully you kind of got the idea from the title, but we're here to talk through struggles of current quote to cash operations. We want to show you what our order to cash automation workflow looks like. We're going to talk through some real world benefits that our solution solves for, talk through some ROI that our current customers utilizing these tools have told us about, and then ultimately getting to find out all the functional capabilities that Stripe offers. At the end, we will go through a Q&A. I do want to thank everybody who submitted questions ahead of time. If there is anything that comes up through this webinar that you want to add to the chat, we'll be monitoring that and try to address that at the end of the webinar. Looking at the problems that we're seeing today with the current quote to cash that we're hoping to address here, once again, add in the chat if there's anything you would want to speak to. But we're seeing, without an automated solution, there's a lot of disconnected systems. There's manual processing and errors that just comes with, data entry. It takes time to create those records. There's revenue leakage in terms of AR that goes uncollected for, unaccounted for. There's delay in not utilizing a payment processor like Stripe, waiting on checks or other payment methods to be processed, and then ultimately trying to reconcile all that to close the books in a timely manner. Looking at the diagram here, this is what we offer in terms of a real-time quote to cash collection. The green on the right is going to be our ERP, pretty much your system that you're using today. As you invoice out of that, we connect directly with Stripe to create customer, to create invoice, and any of those details. We'll show a demo here in a few seconds, but ultimately, as you invoice out of your ERP today, and when that invoice gets posted, finalized, confirmed, whatever your team's using to say that this is ready to be collected upon, our integration real time will call out to Stripe. It's going to ask to see if that customer already exists, meaning is this the first time we've connected with them or tried to bill them, or if it's a multiple invoice, meaning it's their second, third iteration, maybe on a contract or just a recurring invoice from your ERP. We'll leverage that same customer, go create that invoice details, and then our integration real time brings back that link into your ERP, allowing your team to either send that out via your native tool or collect on it internally via CSR. Outside of being able to keep invoices and payment details in record, meaning when a payment invoice gets paid, we go create the AR payment and kind of finalize the loop there. The biggest thing you see at the bottom of the screen is a Stripe payout to GL entry, a journal entry. So outside of tracking the day-to-day orders going through the system and the payments, which is obviously very critical to any successful business, we real-time reconcile the payouts from Stripe to your ERP when they become available. So now, instead of just tracking payments coming through, we're actually showing when the money hits the account, allowing your finance team to see real-time data, real-time financials, and make accurate business decisions. Talking through some of the real world benefits, we polled a lot of our active customers utilizing all of our Stripe to ERP integrations, and here's some of the feedback we've received. Without the integration, we have disconnected systems. We unify a data flow through this tool, which allows real-time synchronization of all your invoices, payments, and reconciliation of payouts. As soon as they have hit, we get a real-time webhook that notifies us and that data moves. We have every transaction is automatically updated inside the ERP, once again, ensuring finance is getting real-time accurate data. When you replace manual processes with automated workflows, the automated creation means that we're getting invoices to customers as quickly as they're getting invoiced out of our system. So if you have an external system, even a CRM, something that's generating those invoices, as quickly as we hit closed one on a deal, it's going into our ERP, it's getting posted, and that invoice is inside of a customer's inbox in less than minutes from a deal being closed, allowing you guys to collect, allowing cash flow to be accelerated. Month-end close gets accelerated by this too, specifically around the journal entries and the bank deposits being reconciled as quickly as they're created in Stripe. You'll already have that offsetting journal entry inside of your ERP, along with audit information, so that way you can track the records between systems to make sure they tie out. Looking at a demo here of an invoice creation, we are utilizing Sage Intacct for this demo, but please let it be known it could be any ERP that you're working with. In this case, we are looking at a invoice being created. The big trigger for us in this environment is when we post it. So we're going to go through, we're going to fill in all this information based off the currency, if it's taxable, if it's not, we're going to add items to it. And when we go through all this and we make sure everything's populated as our ERP is expecting, we will simply hit post. When we do that, that's going to call out to Stripe. It's going to see, does our customer already exist, the Dunder Mifflin Boston, and it's going to then create a corresponding invoice for them. Once again, this is going to be based off of all your requirements in terms of posting an invoice or an order in your system. So as this happens in the background, it's called out to Stripe. We can go to the actual payment collection side of it. So this is what an end user is going to see. We write back to inside of your ERP a link, which we just clicked on here. That's going to take your customer to the invoice. In this case, we're going to pay it via credit card. Please don't steal my 4242 credit card for testing. But as soon as we fill this information out and we go and hit select or submit payment at the bottom, this would be what your customer would be utilizing. They'll get a real-time notification that they can download their invoice, and we'll flip over to the Intacct side here, and we'll see that real-time a payment detail is created with audit trail information tracking to Stripe for the full amount, and it's even posted to the actual invoice itself. Didn't click into it there, but there is posting details, and we'll talk through that as we go through the journal entry reconciliation. Going back into some real world benefits we've heard from our customers, revenue leakage. When you're trying to manage your own AR, especially as you start increasing the volume, if it's recurring billing, if it's contract billing, if they don't if we're sending it out manually or they're not responding to an email or they just didn't send their check-in, it becomes very hard to manually manage. So being able to leverage some of the stuff that Girish will talk about on the Stripe side in terms of collecting on payments, retries, dunning notices, it's one less thing a finance team has to actively manage to allow cash collection, ultimately revenue. We've talked about a little bit of manual errors. It takes time to reconcile when somebody misenters a record. Data entry itself is time consuming. Data entry becomes very taxing if there's an error, and we have to try to vet it out before the end of the month. Our integration not only does all those automatic real-time creations, but every record, as we've seen through all these demos, has an audit trail record associated with it, meaning that if there was ever a question on anything, we can have a one-to-one tie out between customer to customer invoice to invoice, invoice line to invoice line, payment to payment record, and then ultimately with a payout. So now there's no guessing which $20 transaction ties to which $20 transaction. It's a one-to-one with a unique identifier. Time to create records. Once again, businesses happen asynchronously, meaning that we're going to be getting deals in all day, every day. We're going to be getting payments all day, every day. Nobody has the time to be sitting idle, waiting for the next deal to come in, the next invoice to be created, the next payment to be created. Uh, so now you're either having to do that in batches, at bulk, at the end of the week. And once again, that just slows down accurate current data for your finance team. Our integration, as we've said, is real time. So when an invoice is posted, it creates an invoice real time, brings back a URL for a customer to pay or a CSR to click. When a payment is made, a real-time payment record is created. And when a Stripe payout happens, a real-time journal entry is created. Lastly, online payments just makes it frictionless for the customer, right? Going forward, that's the way people want to pay. Stripe, not to steal some of Grish's thunder, Stripe allows a lot of different payment methods, different ways for customers to be able to make their payment, which obviously takes that friction out of being able for your team to collect. It also takes any delay out if we don't have some sort of automated payment processor in which we're waiting for customers to receive paper invoices, receive paper checks, someone to go deposit that to the bank, and then obviously go reconcile it. Did want to showcase our Stripe payout piece. So we are doing it in the journal entry, as we mentioned. We do track every order as it comes in, and we do it to a Stripe holding account. In this, you'll see it as the Stripe demo account there on the bottom. The description piece there just shows the audit trail of which payout this was referenced to. So all this money that we get real time via payments, we have it in a Stripe holding account, here shown as the demo account. When Stripe actually deposits it into our account, we move those funds into that checking account that's assigned to the Stripe account. And then any bank fees that come from that, we will withhold that via a line item. This is a very straightforward example. We understand that your business is unique. So if there's other ways that we need to withhold anything from a payout, we have that functional capability to do that. And that's just a little quick exercise we work with your team on. Lastly, in pulling our customers of some of the headaches we've solved with this, we also got some really great ROI from them. So we took all the data that was compiled and kind of put it into some ranges. But we were able to reduce DSO for our customers anywhere between 30 to 60% due to faster digital collections. We were able to reduce manual workload by 50 to 80% from not having to manually create invoices, payments, reconcile, having this all happen automatically behind the scenes. Improved cash forecasting. One of our customers is leveraging external business intelligence systems that they want that data to go to for their team to have real-time dashboard, and now not having to wait for the end of the week, the end of the month to be able to see real-time data is really empowering their team to make better business decisions. Ultimately boosting customer satisfaction for modern payments, allowing customers to pay the way the modern world is, right? Via Stripe and via other digital payment options. And then ultimately enhancing compliance through consistent record keeping audit trails. Uh, that becomes the biggest we've seen with other customers is though you may have accurate data entry, manual data entry, usually they don't go the step farther or further and tie it out with an audit track between both systems. Any record that we move between systems will always have that digital footprint on it that allows us to say this matched here. Outside of that, we track all jobs that are moved between systems. So if we ever needed to look at something, we would have the ability to do that. Girish, I'll throw it over to you to kind of talk more to Stripe's capabilities.
Thank you, Chad. Hi, everyone. I'll just quickly run through what are Stripe's capabilities in the demo and the presentation that Chad did. So first of all, I just want to start with the fact that, yeah, Stripe is known for payments. Everybody talks about Stripe as a payments processor, but that's just the first column of all the capabilities that Stripe has now. We are like the financial infrastructure to grow your revenue. And we have other capabilities such as revenue, which I will be talking a lot more about, as well as money movement capabilities by building platforms and marketplaces, as well as money management capabilities where you as platforms or marketplaces are in a position to issue short-term loans and issue credit cards, debit cards, and manage payouts. Um, Today, I'll just be focusing on the revenue pillar because Chad essentially used our payments pillar to collect money when he entered the credit card, the 4242 that he shared with. And from a revenue perspective, if you noticed, Sage Intact was actually calling a Stripe invoice, and that invoice in turn was used to collect the payments. If we go to the next slide, actually. Yeah, so Stripe has been around for now more than 14 years. We, as of today, process payments and have more than 4 million merchants. Last year, we already crossed $1.4 trillion worth of processing volume globally. This actually means that we have a very good understanding of cards globally as well as how payments happen globally. And typically, if you are using Stripe to process payments, we can save up to 56% of failed payments through our automatic retries and the other capabilities that Stripe has. We also ended up saving almost $6.5 billion worth of failed payments for our customers last year. Now, from a invoicing and payment processing perspective, there are 6 capabilities that were in play in the demo that Chad showed you in the background. So the first capability is Stripe does a lot of payment optimizations in the background to have a very frictionless experience as well as handle things like fraud. So whenever there is payment processing online, there's always fraud, and Stripe has a very sophisticated fraud prevention engine called Radar that is actively looking at more than 200 signals to make sure that it is a legitimate payment. So optimizations just means two things. First is reduction of uh, fraud, and second is making the payment as frictionless as possible and taking the right signals in and making sure that the issuing banks are capable of taking the right decisions. The second thing I want to cover is, though Chad showed you just a credit card payment, Stripe supports more than 100 global payment methods. So just like cards in US, for example, we support Cash App. In Singapore, we support Pay Now, and in Asia, we support WeChat Pay, Alipay, and in France, for example, we support Carta Brancas, etc., etc. So depending on where your customers are, the payment method choices that they are given to pay the invoice changes. And this actually makes it very convenient for customers outside of US because not everybody uses cards. And even in US for high value payments, people may prefer to use ACH debit rather than credit card. If we go ahead, uh, Stripe also has this capability called smart retries. What smart retry essentially means is that if an invoice payment fails on a subscription, on a recurring revenue business, and if you have a monthly payment or a yearly payment and the payment fails, then Stripe has actually very sophisticated AI machine learning capabilities that analyze more than 500 unique characteristics to determine when to try next. So if we go to the next point, Jessica, yeah, you will notice that we talk about dunning strategies. So smart retry is a type of a dunning strategy where Stripe automatically decides when to do dunning and when to chase a payment. But again, there are businesses where they don't want to use smart retries, but they want to build up their own custom dunning strategies. That is also possible with Stripe. And then our invoicing product in general is also capable of sending automated payment reminders, follow-up emails for schedules, especially for subscriptions where if you have a recurring yearly subscription, Stripe will automatically send an email out to the customer saying, hey, your subscription is due 7 days from now, etc. And you can, as a merchant, you can turn on and off these things if you don't want Stripe to send payment reminders. So very customizable. And finally, the last point is I already mentioned, though, so we support a lot of payment methods beyond cards. I think people tend to forget that Stripe is not just a card payment processor, but we can also do ACH debit, for example. And the advantage is, like Chad showed you, your invoice will still be automatically marked as paid when the ACH bank transfer comes in, as well as when Stripe does a payout, your journal entries for bank reconciliation can also be posted automatically. So this capability that he just demoed is not just for cards, but also for other payment methods. Just to summarize what all I covered, you end up getting three big benefits by using Stripe invoicing with your current ERP or accounting system or your order management system. First is just accelerated cash flow. We have this interesting statistic that once a Stripe invoice is sent, almost 87% of those invoices are paid by customers in less than 24 hours. This also means a lot of customers end up saving their payment methods on Stripe, so the invoice gets paid fast or instantaneously. In general, your day sales outstanding will be reduced if you start using Stripe invoicing with whatever is your order management system or accounting system or ERP that you currently have. The second big thing is the integration with Stripe is going to make your AR reconciliation automated because Stripe will send you enough signals to tell you whether the payment was done, not done, it failed, whether Stripe retried, etc. So your back office or your accounts receivable team will thank you for automating most of their jobs so that they can focus on more strategic things rather than just reconciliation of AR. From a customer experience perspective, Chad already showed you that there is a Stripe hosted page. It's called the Stripe hosted invoice page where the customers are automatically redirected and they can pay. The languages are adaptable. Stripe supports more than 135 currencies globally, along with the 100 global payment methods. And finally, we also provide what is called a self-serve customer portal. So here there's a example of all the invoices that were sent to this person, Jenny Rawson, and that person is able to change their payment method on file if they want to use a new credit card or if they want to change their address, etc. So these normal administrative tasks that customers have to do can be delegated to them so that you just have to focus on doing your business, sending your invoices, collecting payments without having to deal with all of these other things that a normal AR team has and a collection team has to deal with. That's it from me. I'll give it back to Chad to walk through a case study.
Thanks, Krish. This is one that I know Stripe will echo. We're really proud of. We were brought to the table by a customer, Journey Health, and they were switching over to Stripe to leverage their payment processor, their payment platform. When they brought us to the table, we were about 2 to 3 weeks out from go live, and they addressed the challenge with their current ERP of Acumatica of being able to take manual order entry, be able to allow CSRs to take payment over the phone, handle refunds, split tickets. Before their go live, we were able to meet with them, gather their requirements, build out a solution that will auto sync customers, kind of we showed in that demo, bring invoices, allowing them to be split if needed based off of what the data was coming out of Acumatica, allowing their CSRs to click the link that we bring back, apply payment over the phone if needed, or send it out to customers. And as a result, we were able to do all of their automated payment flow and reconciliation took it all away from being 100% manual to 100% automated. In doing that, we reduced their manual touch points, made for faster collection, allowed their finance team to focus on what mattered, which is in data entry, and then also had the ability to flex on how Stripe collected on those invoices based off of the billing terms within Acumatica. We do have a little bit more in detailed on this case study. You can find that on the Venn Technology website if you want to read a little bit more. Moving into the Q&A, I know we got a few submitted prior, so I'll jump into those. And I appreciate, looks like we do have one question that came through. If anyone else has a question, please throw it in there. One of the questions we got prior to the webinar was asking about multi-entity within your ERP and multiple Stripe accounts. We do have the ability to do that. We've done it for a lot of customers. We understand that not every accounting system is linear, and we do have some multi-entity accounts, and we have multi-Stripe or different Stripe accounts. That can be based off of currency, that can be based off of a lot of different reasons. Part of those unique identifiers that we talked about and having audit trails between systems allows us to know that maybe entity 100, entity 200 needs to correspond with a different Stripe account, and we build that into our logic flow. So we keep those separated as needed. We can obviously put them all into one account if needed. We can talk through what those requirements would be. But ultimately, we allow our teams to keep them separated as required, and then also makes reconciliation a little bit easier too. Looking at the Q&A question that came through, does Venn support predictive analytics or AI-powered forecasting for demand planning and procurement? So Venn Technology, I briefly touched on at the beginning. We are your go-to integration solution. So we're going to be moving the data to and from. Within your ERP, there are some native AI tools that will help leverage procurement and demand as if maybe you're a seasonal business. What we've seen with other customers and where we've been able to step in is we've moved data out of our ERP and into either data lakes or into other places that maybe can do some external forecasting, procurement, demand workflows that kind of do more of a projective base versus real time. But in terms of needing to move that data in and out or getting real-time notification, that's where our integration kind of can come in. And everything we've shown today is a quote to cash collection piece. But I would definitely recommend going to our website and seeing all the offerings we have as we do a lot more outside of just the Stripe connection to bring data in real time to make sure you can have those right analytics to make the right business decisions. Girish, I think you kind of touched on this other one that came in, but I'll let you, if you want to speak more to it. What payment methods do you accept outside of, and they have in quotations, traditional methods?
Yeah, so I sort of briefly touched that we have around 100 payment methods that we support globally. And there's actually a web page that shows all the payment methods that Stripe supports. I can drop it in the chat over here. But for, yeah, okay, So if you just go to some other country, let's just go to Netherlands or some European country, you will see different payment methods. Yeah, just for example, if you go to Netherlands, you will notice that everybody loves to use Ideal. No one is very happy using credit cards. And then you can see that Stripe supports Ideal as a real-time payment method over there. China Union Pay, for example, is very popular in Asia. Or if you just go down to the country that I came from, Singapore, you will see that we support a lot of very different payment methods over there. So GrabPay is like a local Venmo. We have Pay Now, which is a government sponsored real-time payment method, which is extremely popular. Alipay for Chinese customers, it's quite popular in that part of the world. I'm sure Alipay is also popular in Europe, and Stripe supports all of these. The advantage is, like Chad showed you, your invoices will continue to look the same. It's just that at runtime, when the customer looks at that invoice, the payment methods that they can choose will be different based on the geography that they are looking at that invoice from.
Thanks, Girish. We just got another question in the chat. Girish, this may line up with you, but I'll read it out. We have subscription revenue that will bill 1 month in advance, and we're hoping for a Stripe subscription revenue module that can accommodate our needs, but it only looks like it can bill in the service month. Is there any Stripe updates in the future that will help with our billing for a 1 month in advance billing?
Yes, we do have capabilities to do that, Sean, and we'll be happy to have a chat with you. So there are several ways that billing 1 month in advance can be handled. We also have new capabilities coming in Stripe called pre-billing, where you can bill a customer, let's say X months in advance, 1 or 2 or 3 or 6 months, and the invoices will be automatically generated and paid for. So you can reach out to Chad and I'll work with Chad to get this working for you.
Perfect. We did have a question come in before that was kind of in alignment with that, so I will bring that up. What if we invoice out of Stripe using Stripe subscriptions and we want to reconcile with the ERP? So today what we showed is definitely a quote to cash, meaning invoicing starting from the ERP. We on the Venn side have capabilities and tools to move the data the other way, meaning you want to take advantage of, we just talked about Stripe subscriptions, meaning we're going to invoice out of Stripe first. We at Venn Technology have the ability and have done it for a handful of customers of bringing those in to your order entry module as a direct AR invoice uh, and allowing you then to apply payment one-to-one. If you're a high volume uh, company and you just want journal level transactions, summary based transactions to keep the systems in sync, we absolutely do that too. So we have the flexibility based off of your requirements and your case, your unique case study that we could work with you on that. Getting a question here from the Venn ecosystem perspective. What role does GraphQL and RESTful APIs play in the modern ERP extensibility and 3P integrations? Regarding anything that we do, we're looking for well-documented APIs. We can work with GraphQL, but really what we're looking for is any accessible data points between any systems that you're working with that you want to move data to and from. We have the capability via middleware tool to be able to move that data, real-time records. We can do polling triggers, but at the end of the day, we just need to have accessible read-write data points there. Well, if you haven't already, please scan that QR code on the screen. It's going to take you to our guide that you see there on the screen, streamline or fall behind, how to kind of automate your payment integration. We have a lot of other great guides on our website, other applications that you may think that you may want for an integration platform, either other systems going to Stripe directly or coming into your ERP. Do want to thank Girish. Thank you, Girish, Stripe team, for co-hosting this webinar with us. Really excited to be along with this partnership that we've kind of started 4+ years ago now. If you have any questions, either regarding what you saw here today or capabilities of Stripe or Venn Technology, please don't hesitate to reach out to either one of us. If it's a question for the other, we'll redirect as needed. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.